from KCRG-TV9, your 24-hour news source. Welcome to this Show You Care special, The Spirit of Giving.
Happy holidays. I'm KCRG-TV9's Bruce Sowney. 'Tis better to give than to receive. We've heard this for many, many years. Marriage and family therapist Dr. Tim Rupert says we are born with the instinct to give of ourselves.
And why do we give? We give out of compassion. We give because it makes our hearts feel warmer. And we give because we know that as a society, as a community, the only way that we survive is to help one another.
Food and clothing drives are really the most popular ways to give. Food banks all over Eastern Iowa are trying to keep up with demand. The State Department of Human Services says the number of Iowa households receiving food assistance has increased 39% just over last year. And the Haycap Food Reservoir in Lynn County reports a 12,000 to 15,000 pound shortage of food supplies this year. This is a need we see almost every year. Instead of clothing, Cedar River Shelters asks for blankets for the homeless each year. And so far they've collected 360 new and used blankets. People can use these blankets for extra warmth on the street, for bedding in low-income housing, and for extra insulation against drafty windows and doors. Organizers say the drive is going so well that they expect to double last year's donations.
I feel like it's what we're called to do. You know, we've been blessed. We need to give to others, other people, that aren't quite so fortunate. And maybe, they'll be able to give to someone else in the future.
Is this what you're called to do? There are hundreds of local agencies that could really use your help. So join me now as we explore some of the places in Eastern Iowa you've probably never heard of. Nonetheless, they need your attention. Imagine being so paranoid that it takes everything you have just to leave your home. For people with mental disabilities, life can be unbelievably difficult. Life Skills, Inc. of Johnson County helps people like that become confident and independent. KCRG-TV9's Cassie Willis talked to a man who's learned how to survive in the midst of chronic depression.
Life Skills has changed my life.
Stephen Curry relies on Life Skills, Inc. in Iowa City to help him with everything from paying his bills to overcoming his mental illness.
It was hard to leave the house. I would get all sweaty and everything in the bathroom. I mean, I didn't close doors because of claustrophobic-like symptoms. And then when I had to leave, take a shower and then dry off and be as wet as when I had the shower.
Curry suffers from social anxiety, major depression, and emotional intensity disorder. The combination affects how he lives his life. Eric Milbrandt is Curry's skills counselor.
My job is to empower Stephen to do as much on his own as possible. So we're just here kind of as a tool for him to use.
Milbrandt and his colleagues help people with mental disabilities solve their own problems and become more independent. They even take their clients on errands, including the Crisis Center Food Bank.
Those are the things that keep people out of the hospital and in their home, coping with the stresses of everyday life that we often take for granted.
Life Skills relies on funding from United Way and county, state, and federal monies, but that isn't enough to cover all of the expenses.
Our biggest needs are funding for services. Our biggest needs are staff development opportunities to keep our staff on the cutting edge of service delivery. Our biggest needs are to be able to provide financial assistance to the people that we provide services to. There's a lot of gaps in service funding and a lot of ways that actual money is needed.
Life Skills also needs money to cover life's little emergencies, things like replacing broken vacuum cleaners or covering unexpected bills. For people on a fixed budget, that support brings great reassurance.
They've helped me keep my bills caught up, keep my new apartment, you need to put things away, and this is all new stuff to me. I leave it lay and be more responsible.
I'm here for if he needs me.
Life Skills makes life better for those who need a helping hand. In Iowa City, Cassie Willis, KCRG-TV9 News.
Life Skills' greatest need is money. Money to pay their hardworking staff and to cover the needs of the people they serve. Consider giving to Life Skills, Inc. of Johnson County. Now, no matter the number of jokes you've heard about them, lawyers do serve an important purpose, especially for victims of domestic violence. Find out how Iowa Legal Aid saves lives when we come back. Then later in the show, we'll take you inside a convent turned homeless shelter in Dubuque. And we'll give you some helpful hints for making charitable contributions safely. Stick around, there's more to come in this KCRG-TV9 Show You Care special.
This KCRG-TV9 Show You Care special is brought to you by St. Luke's Hospital, Alliant Energy, Collins Community Credit Union, and iWireless.
One of my favorite quotes comes from Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, where Jacob Marley says to Ebenezer Scrooge, mankind was our business and is our business. If we don't reach out and help other individuals who are in need, then not only do they suffer, but we all suffer.
Welcome back to this Show You Care special. Iowa Legal Aid takes Ebenezer Scrooge's lesson to heart. Mankind is definitely their business. The waiting list is long, but Eastern Iowa's low-income population does have a place to turn when a lawyer is required. KCRG-TV9's Diane Pathew introduces us to a woman whose life was protected thanks to Iowa Legal Aid.
The last time April Barron came to Iowa Legal Aid, she was in trouble and she needed help fast.
I came here in February and left a domestic violence situation and needed a restraining order rapidly. So I came here and I didn't have any resources or anything. I just left with my clothes and my kids.
Managing attorney Jim Kringlin helped Barron get the protective order she needed free of charge.
Someone who has been abused by a domestic partner and is afraid for their safety, that's pretty much our highest priority. If we think they have a strong case, we take those.
Iowa Legal Aid is a statewide, non-for-profit law firm that provides free legal assistance to low-income Iowans. Their services are always in demand.
The volume of the demand is very high. We can't possibly serve all the folks who do need an attorney. So we turn away people every day, unfortunately.
Almost 900 people are turned away each month. The 6 attorneys at the firm handle more than just domestic abuse cases. They also take child support cases, housing and eviction matters, public benefit cases, and utility matters. Iowa Legal Aid receives funding from United Way and state and federal sources, but that funding has been cut.
We have had a lot of budget cuts in the past few years that we're absorbing and we're adjusting to. And one of the things we've done is to move to less expensive space that we're in now. We just moved this week, so we're still settling in.
On this visit, Barron is touring the firm's new offices. The protective order is still in effect and Barron has moved on with her life. But she says she couldn't have done it without the help from Iowa Legal Aid.
And I don't think that people understand, you know, when someone comes from a situation like that they need help and they need it fast. And that this, you know, this place provides that, you know, it protects people, it helps people.
It's a privilege to be able to work in this field, to represent low-income people and know, sometimes I know I've made a difference.
In Cedar Rapids, Diane Pathew, KCRG-TV9 News.
Iowa Legal Aid's greatest need is also money. Money to pay the attorneys who represent Iowans suffering from domestic violence, housing discrimination, and exclusion from benefits. Consider giving to the Iowa Legal Aid office in your area. No one really chooses to become homeless. Sometimes the circumstances are just too great to overcome. And when we return, we'll take you inside the Maria House, a place where a 2-year-old boy can live without the threat of violence. And later we'll give you some advice on how to make donations wisely. We'll be right back.
Christmas is a time where we share gifts and celebrate family, and it's a very difficult time for some families who don't have the money, the resources to purchase gifts, to purchase clothing, and to have the type of celebration that most of us can enjoy.
Welcome back to this Show You Care special. The Maria House in Dubuque celebrates family every single day. The homeless shelter gives women and children a place to stay and rebuild their lives. KCRG-TV9's Cassie Willis took a tour of the Maria House, and she met a little boy who's found a safe place to live with his family.
2-year-old Gunnar Finley and his family live at the Maria House. This Dubuque homeless shelter isn't permanent, but it is a safe place to be right now.
I came here through a violent relationship out of 13 years. I kind of got to the point where I couldn't take it no more, and seeing what my kids were going through, it was time for me to hit the road and get away as far as I could.
Teresa Finley says she and her 3 children are beginning to rebuild their lives with help from the staff at the shelter.
We're one big family. When people come through this door, they're just another member of the family, and we treat them as such.
That's me. Yeah. That's Mom.
This building used to be a Catholic convent. 4 years ago, it was remodeled into the only homeless shelter for women and children in Dubuque County.
Now this is an example of our family suites, which are typically 2 or 3 bedrooms that are adjoined together, much like a hotel room would be adjoined. It gives the family the opportunity to be in close quarters to each other, but yet have a little bit of extra space.
The shelter can hold 4 families and 4 single women at a time. Each woman is encouraged to stay for 6 months and learn new skills for independent living. Teresa is gaining more confidence with each day at the Maria House.
Courage, that's what I needed the most, because I didn't have much self-esteem. I didn't have that, so just the will to get out there and make something of myself and take care of my kids.
But this shelter is in need too.
In the Dubuque community, people are very generous. I mean, we receive calls, I would say at least 5 to 10 calls daily. People wanting to donate clothing, furniture, paper products. However, our main need is actually money.
They need that money to pay staff salaries. 11 staff members help residents find community resources, job training, substance abuse counseling, and other assistance. After 4 months at the Maria House, Teresa is making concrete plans for her future. She's enrolled in a welder training program.
So I'm kind of like going to try to get out there in that man's world to do a man's job, but being a woman to do it. So I'm going to give that a whirl.
In Dubuque, Cassie Willis, KCRG-TV9 News.
The Maria House's greatest need is money, too. Money to pay staff members as they teach homeless women how to live on their own again. Consider giving to the Maria House of Dubuque. And we have one more need to tell you about, the need for a happy holiday. Learn about 2 agencies teaming up to bring the season's blessings to children in Iowa City, plus some charitable giving tips from the Better Business Bureau. Learn how to give and not get taken. We'll show you more right after this.
This doesn't just happen at Thanksgiving time. It doesn't just happen at Christmas. It happens throughout the year. People are very needy. So I encourage people to try to work into their monthly budgets a way that they can donate regularly to help many, many worthwhile causes.
Welcome back to this Show You Care special. Since this is the season of giving, many Eastern Iowa charities host special holiday fundraisers. The Salvation Army and the Crisis Center team up each year in Iowa City for Project Holiday. KCRG-TV9 Sarah Colbert shows how this partnership works.
Effort, and we're all coming together to provide Christmas for those children who would otherwise not have a Christmas.
Because of Project Holiday, thousands of families in Johnson County have been given a chance to celebrate the holiday season. Through money donations from the community, the Crisis Center is putting together food baskets.
So we want to make sure that people have the food that they need so they feel comfortable inviting their family members and friends to come and celebrate the holiday with them.
And the Salvation Army is once again rounding up toys. Captain Smith says it's a great opportunity for children to give to other children.
So they'll take one of the tags off of the trees and the children will go pick a gift for a child here in the community who wouldn't have Christmas otherwise.
Last year, more than 1,200 children in the county got a chance to pick out a toy. However, the toy and food distribution at Pepperwood Plaza is a week later, and it'll be in a different building.
Prior years we were at Video Update, and thankfully that's been leased. So now we're moving to another vacant spot, which is the former Pet Degree location in that plaza.
So if the community could come together and provide that volunteer help, that would be wonderful.
Now, you can still donate to Project Holiday. The Salvation Army is taking toy donations through December 15th, and the Crisis Center is taking food donations all year round. Both organizations would appreciate your monetary donations beyond the season of giving. Now it's time to show you care. Give what you can to the organizations we've featured in this program or to the causes you care about. Before you begin, though, consider these charitable giving tips from the Better Business Bureau's Wise Giving Alliance and the Iowa Attorney General's Office. First, ask lots of questions and get as much information as you can in writing. Reputable charities welcome questions and requests for information. Don't be fooled by names that look impressive or resemble the names of well-known organizations. Don't give your credit card or checking account numbers over the phone to someone you don't know. Make your contribution by check payable to the charity. Don't write the check to the individual collecting your donation, and don't pay cash. Be sure to keep records of your donations so you do have documentation at tax time. And finally, remember that tax exempt doesn't always mean tax deductible. Tax exempt simply means the organizations do not have to pay taxes. Tax deductible means your contribution can be deducted from your income tax return. If you'd like to research a charitable organization, call one of these two offices, the Better Business Bureau of Central and Eastern Iowa at 515-243-8137. That's 515-243-8137. Or the Iowa Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 515-281-5926. Again, that's 515-281-5926. To learn more about charitable giving, log on to KCRG.com. Click onto the Show You Care tab and look for the Spirit of Giving link. Thank you for joining us for this Show You Care special, and may the spirit of giving stick with you throughout the year. Happy holidays from all of us here at KCRG-TV9.